This video is about Zhu Family Garden in Jianshui, Yunnan. Jianshui is one of the most interesting old towns in southern Yunnan, and Zhu Family Garden is one of its most famous historic residences. This was not an imperial palace or a government building. It was the private residence and ancestral complex of the wealthy Zhu family, built during the late Qing Dynasty. The Zhu family became one of the important local families in Jianshui, and this enormous compound shows the wealth, taste, and social position they once had. The complex covers more than 20,000 square meters and contains 42 courtyards and 214 rooms, which is why it is sometimes called the Grand View Garden of southern Yunnan. Walking through it feels almost like entering a maze of courtyards. One courtyard leads into another, and then another, with halls, corridors, carved doors, painted panels, lanterns, flower displays, and quiet garden spaces. What I especially like here is that the architecture feels both grand and intimate. It is large enough to show the power of a rich family, but it still has the feeling of a lived-in house, with small courtyards, shaded walkways, ponds, and rooms arranged around private family spaces. The style is typical of traditional Jianshui residential architecture, with gray tiled roofs, dark wooden beams, carved doors, painted decoration, and enclosed courtyards. The layout follows a traditional pattern of connected halls and courtyards, where the family residence and the ancestral shrine were part of the same overall complex. As I walk through the garden, one of the first things that stands out is the amount of detail. The wooden doors are not just functional, they are decorated with carved scenes, flowers, animals, and symbolic designs. The painted panels and calligraphy also give the house a scholarly atmosphere. This was a home, but it was also a statement of culture, status, education, and family identity. In traditional Chinese society, a wealthy family did not only show its success through money, it also showed success through architecture, education, ritual, and ancestor worship. That is why Zhu Family Garden includes both living spaces and ancestral spaces. The family house and the family shrine belong together. The courtyards are also very important. In this kind of architecture, the courtyard is not just empty space. It brings light and air into the building, creates privacy, and connects the rooms around it. Here in Jianshui, the courtyards are especially beautiful because they are filled with flowers, potted plants, trees, and water features. When I visited, the pink flowers were blooming everywhere, adding a very soft and colorful feeling to the old gray tiles and dark wood. There are also ponds and garden areas, which make the complex feel peaceful despite the number of visitors. Another interesting part of the visit is seeing how Zhu Family Garden is used today. It is no longer a private family residence. It is now a historic site, tourist attraction, and cultural space. Visitors walk through the old rooms and courtyards, take photos, look at the carvings, and imagine what life was like for a powerful family in late Qing Yunnan. There are also costume photo areas where people can dress in traditional style clothing and take pictures inside the old courtyards. That gives the place a slightly theatrical atmosphere, but it also shows how historic spaces in China are often used today as places for memory, culture, photography, and tourism. For me, Zhu Family Garden is interesting because it shows a different side of Yunnan. Many people think of Yunnan mainly in terms of mountains, ethnic minority cultures, tea, or tropical Sichuanbana, but Jianshui shows another face of the province: old urban culture, Confucian influence, merchant wealth, family compounds, courtyards, and scholarly architecture. This garden also helps explain why Jianshui became such an important town. It was not just a remote place. It was connected to trade, education, local government, and regional wealth. The Zhu family's residence is a reminder that southern Yunnan had its own powerful families, its own refined architecture, and its own local elite culture. As I move through the halls, corridors, and courtyards, the most memorable feeling is the layering of spaces. You never see everything at once. You pass through a doorway, then a courtyard, then another doorway, then another hall. Each space reveals something new. That sense of gradual discovery is one of the pleasures of traditional Chinese courtyard architecture. The doors, windows, and walls frame each view like a picture. A flower pot, a pond, a carved panel, a roof line, or a lantern suddenly becomes the focus. So Zhu Family Garden is not just one big building, it is a carefully arranged sequence of spaces designed for family life, ritual, privacy, beauty, and status. By the end of the visit, it is easy to understand why this is one of the most famous places in Jianshui.